Gamer Feed Radio.
What's going on out there, everybody in podcast land? This is Gamer Feed Radio.
How's it going?
We're back. My name is Nick Delicave, your host, and I am joined this evening by my bestest friends. Well, at least in podcasting, anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, the one and only Kyle Pope and Brad Wallace. What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's going on, Gamer Feed Nation?
howdy.
World, actually, I should say world. Actually,
Yeah, it's a global phenomenon.
than ever, my friends.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was just checking out the other day all of the fun goings on in terms of listening, and I mean it's just a smattering all over the place. So hooray for the interwebs!
Keep it real worldwide.
It's interesting. The show right after Thanksgiving was like the biggest show in terms of listens ever.
Sweet.
Followed very shortly behind by the Halloween show, which got some pretty good traction. So for those who are curious, if you're checking us out for the first time, we thank you. You can find us on iTunes, and most people find us on iHeartRadio because it's the easiest, most popular, gigantistic website ever in the history of all things listening. We're very fortunate to be there. So check us out there and any of the other fun podcasting things that you may or may not use. There's even a couple episodes on SoundCloud for those of you who are over there, though, 157 million people who use that apparently.
Right.
Anyway, so this week's show is all about, as has been now advertised and hyped for quite some time, 2016 predictions.
Oh boy.
And what we think is going to happen. This should be ridiculously epic, and I will apologize. A brief mea culpa. I hit the beginning of the year and got caught with not one but multiple deaths, whatever the doom flavor illness of the universe that's floating around. I caught them all thanks to having a very young daughter. It happens.
Nice.
And I'm joining you barely with a gift of speech. So if I randomly go quiet and you go, Nick, I probably have you on mute so I can stop coughing.
And or you probably died.
Or that could happen too, as possible. So 2016 predictions, that's what we're here. Here's the order of operations. We're going to just kind of go around the table. Everybody's going to offer one prediction at a time. And we'll just keep going around until we fill up the usual hour. For those of you that join us for that long, thank you. There'll be a brief intermission for some commercial programming. But
Intermission.
can anybody do that stupid music from, what was that, Cable Guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Intermission.
Stupid. So we're going to go around the room, everybody, one at a time. We'll do our thing and take it from there.
All right. I'll start.
Go for it, Kyle.
All right. Well, my
Your first prediction.
My first prediction is that the Guns N' Roses reunion won't happen. Oh, wait, wrong.
The best
Fool.
first prediction ever.
You're a fool.
Wrong show. Sorry.
Oh, Lord, that's hysterical.
But I seriously
It
do
just,
believe-
made my day.
No, my first prediction is, I think it's a pretty obvious one. I think Nintendo will have a actual press conference at E3 this year.
Ooh.
Because there's all the hype around their next console, the NX. I think it's a good time if they're going to promote a new console. They can't just do a dinky little online thing. They got to make it kind of flashy, kind of cool.
Nintendo Direct, that would be a disaster.
Well,
It would be.
I think actually what you say makes sense for this reason. Brand new president, practically no one in the universe has met the guy.
Yeah.
Right, he's still kind of veiled in secrecy in a weird way.
And if he were smart, he would go out there in person and actually meet gamers. And then if they want to go back to directs after that, that's fine. But I think he needs to get out there and meet people, especially if they're going to have a brand new console release. Like, they need to be there. The hardware needs to be touchable or in a box that people can look at, like, inches from their face. You know what I mean?
There's a 100% chance that NX is playable at E3, and yeah, I would love to see the new president come out and do like a big formal introduction. They
Plus,
kind
everyone-
of did their final goodbye to Owada throughout the whole end of this last year.
Yeah.
So it's not like they need to harp on that again too much, but like they need to at least start fresh and say, hey, here's the new Nintendo, basically. Because
Right.
we hear about mobile, we hear about the new home console handheld thing. Like they'll just set the whole record straight by June for sure.
Exactly. So I thought that was a pretty good one to lead off with.
Oh, totally.
It is a good one, and I think it's really interesting because there's been a whole bunch of news about this in the last
Yeah.
couple weeks, actually, and I think we should just dig it a little bit. The first one is all the rumors about the NX mobile part having rumored connectivity with PC and potentially other gaming consoles, which is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Huh.
Also, that this mobile device will actually launch first for about $200, and then the console will release either holiday or early 2017 launch window type thing for around the $400 price point, which for Nintendo is a big difference compared to how they typically
Yeah.
price. But the specs that have been talked about so far are 900p 60 frames per second.
Yeah. And a lot of people kind of shudder at that and go like, wait, that's like, worse than a PS4. However, I think the direct comparison with that would be the Wii U gamepad. And the Wii U gamepad right now, like, I think it can do 60 frames per second. It might not be able to, actually. But it's definitely not 900p. 900p is HD. Anything over 720 is considered HD, high definition.
Right.
So that would be a big differentiator between that and the gamepad, regardless. But this is a way out there prediction, and I'll tie it into the prediction theme.
It's all good.
I genuinely think that the home console version, like the portable version, I should say, that's going to be the equivalent of like Apple TV AirPlay, and that's where I could see them actually having a PC, PS4, and Xbox One like app on it, where you could basically stream your portable game onto the TV using this app.
Huh.
That would be my biggest guess, because they would never make PS4 games. That would be ridiculous. But they're dumb to not see that PS4 especially is selling like hotcakes. Like there's already a built-in install base there, so you could basically sell your portable to all these home console gamers and get that Wii U type experience. Except PS4 has sold like triple the Wii U, so there's way more you can do with it.
I think you're under mathing that one.
Yeah, it's probably more than triple, but But I think it's a good compromise. It's them not giving up on making their own hardware, because the whole thing would be a new handheld gaming device. And it's the opposite of what Sony does with, what's it called? The Vita. Like, you can't stream a Vita game onto your PS4, I don't think.
Yes, you
It's
can.
only the opposite. I know on the PS Vita TV, I know that's a thing.
The PlayStation TV, you can stream Vita games on your PS4.
I thought it was only the opposite. I thought it was like you could take your PS4 game like Destiny and stream it onto your Vita.
No, because the only reason why I know that is because I want to get PlayStation Vita. I want to get PlayStation TV when I finally get my PlayStation back. I want to get that just for the sole purpose of playing one Vita game.
Nice.
So-
Everybody's got needs.
Yeah, I gotta play Persona 4 Golden. I'm sorry, I just gotta do it.
Word.
New content, man. It's like the final mix.
I
All
mean,
this stuff.
it's
all this stuff I
legit.
don't have.
It's legit.
It's a good series, people. Get into it. Damn it.
Nice. But yeah, I don't know. That would be my thing. And the whole thing with 900p 60 frames per second is that's probably the sweet spot they have to make the latency like zero, So like on the Wii U gamepad, it's like literally perfect streaming. It's like, pixel per second exact as what's on your TV. And I'm sure that's what the portable thing is going to be like too. If it does end up connecting to PCs and PS4s, which I'm pretty skeptical it wouldn't, but I could see that being the sweet spot where it's like this flawless image.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
Would be interesting. Well, since we're kind of talking about Nintendo, my first prediction will be that we will not get all of the NX details at E3. We're not going to get final pricing. We're not going to get final launch window. We're not going to get any of that. I think we will see either the portable or the main console. I do not think we'll see both. And that will cause a media frenzy around, which came first, the chicken or the egg, which is better. Should you pay $200 now for this and then another $400? Which actually, if you think about it, it's kind of smart on Nintendo's part because VR is going to get a lot of media buzz at E3 this year, and all of those headsets are $400+ a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from a pricing
totally
standpoint, yes, from a pricing standpoint, it's smart on their part because it puts them right in there with everybody else. The question will be, do you want to go get a virtual reality headset, circa Virtual Boy, maybe better, who knows? I haven't actually seen one. This is Nintendo's argument. Or do you want to try whatever their new fangled technology is, take a little bit of a risk, but get the mobile portability of being able to take your console home type games absolutely anywhere you want to go? I mean, if you want to lock yourself in your house and, put on a virtual reality headset and try not to break through your glass coffee table, good luck, but we've got something better. You can take it with you. And
Right.
I think they're going to try to set up the differentiation like that, but I don't think we're going to have final pricing or anything like that, and I don't think we'll get an official launch date for the entire thing. I think we'll get it for just part of it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, I would say that I definitely think that the portable thing is happening this year, if not both, because basically the 3DS is nothing coming out after the first couple months of 2016. And I mean, the 3DS has literally the best library of games of any system ever. But are you guys still there? Hold on.
Yeah, listening to you.
Okay, sorry. My internet kind of just crapped out there.
No, it's great. You have crystal clear reception at this exact
good.
moment, which is weird for you.
Yeah, I was just pausing there. But anyways. No, so, I totally think it's going to be $200. I totally think that, I actually think we'll get details at E3 because, what's it called? Because it's so short a window, right? If E3's in June, this thing will be out by October or November or something. That's, 4 months. But that's Nintendo we're talking about, so, they'll be done.
And, I mean, I believe the exact opposite of what Nick thinks. I think they're going to pull a Wii, and just be like, here it is.
Yeah, that's what I would expect, is the exact same type of Wii reveal.
Right. And I mean, I'm talking even maybe that it could be operable. This is a really bold kind of thing to say, but
It's all good.
I think if Nintendo really, really wants to establish themselves as a powerhouse again, I think it would be hilarious / awesome if they said, yeah, the mobile thing, you can do that next week.
Oh, like Apple style.
That would be
It's out
that would
right
be
now.
amazing.
Yeah.
Sega tried that with one of their shitty systems that nobody bought, and it was like a disaster. I forget which one because
Wonder Swan or whatever.
It goes Genesis, a whole bunch of crap, and then Dreamcast, and then they went under.
Yeah.
There's
So,
4 consoles in between there
Genesis-
that nobody bought.
So Genesis and a whole bunch of crap. I get it, yeah. But no, that was a Saturn. And the reason why the Saturn
Yeah, that's the
was
one.
because the PlayStation was so much cheaper
Yeah.
at the time. I think the PlayStation was $200 and the Saturn was $400. Everyone's like, "You're kidding me, Sega?
Yeah.
No way! I'm not gonna buy this thing for $400 when I already got one of the best libraries of gaming in a PlayStation already right now."
That's what Nintendo's finally realizing, because the rumors, like Nick was saying, I think a little bit ago, was that it's going to be $200, around $200 for the NX portable thing. That is the ultra sweet spot. They've got it in the bag. If they release whatever for $200 and it has a library, half as appealing as the 3DS ends up having the library that the 3DS has, that thing's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
I can't imagine someone not getting one for, especially, that classic old marketing trick. You go $199 boom, that's like everybody would get one. Everybody likes Nintendo, but nobody likes the Wii U. Like that's the problem they're having. The 3DS is doing, super duper well, but if they release a new handheld system for $200, new Nintendo handheld, it's just gonna destroy, man. Like no one's safe.
Well,
We're all gonna be.
I'm still waiting to see what it is. I am skeptical. You're going to see a lot of skepticism in this episode.
Oh, you
but
want to
Sure,
hear?
absolutely.
I've got not to, I don't want to hog too much, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. So this was more of a leak than a rumor, but Nintendo apparently is working with, I want to say it's like Toshiba or like some screen manufacturer to do curved LCD screens. So the rumor is that if you imagine the Wii U gamepad as it looks now, how it has that rectangle in the middle, well, imagine the entire controller is a glass touchscreen. Everything but the sticks and the buttons is a screen. Like where the screen itself curves around these round button holes. And that's what people think this new system's going to be. That way, context sensitive. You know how like in Zelda games, it'll have like your items above the button? Like, it would be like that, but it would be a screen. And,
what you're describing kind of sounds like one of Grandma's crystal serving dishes that'll get ruined. Someone will pour salsa on it for chips.
Yeah. This is Nintendo we're talking about, so we can't be too confident that they'll take the common sense route on anything they have to do.
I want them to get away from the whole touch screen being the controller thing. Like, I don't want a gamepad. I don't.
Yeah, the problem with the gamepad is it's just kind of too bulky. It's a little too big and frumpy. But if it's, sleek like the DS Lite or the original 3DS, like I think that'd be really cool.
But
we'll see. Who knows?
We'll see. We will see. All right.
And next, like
so, anybody have any other predictions for Nintendo since we're on the topic?
Oh, I do. And this is something I've hinted at a number of times in previous podcasts, but I just want to make another statement here. Are we ready?
Oh, God.
Sure. Okay, this one's obvious, but I think Zelda Wii U is going to be on the NX, Twilight Princess style, where they'll appease the Wii U fans by releasing a shitty, terrible Wii U version.
You're totally taking all of my predictions, Brad. We can't.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, we're on Nintendo. I gotta get this one out.
Right,
but I think it's obvious that the portable system's going to have Amiibo NFC built in. So the Wolf Link Amiibo that they just talked about, where it's going to carry over to the Zelda Wii U, is probably going to carry over that same information to the Zelda NX, which will be the same game. That's another little mini prediction. It's kind of obvious, but the NX is going to have Amiibo functionality or NFC. Duh. But I genuinely think because they're going to pull a Sony with the PS4, where Sony realized not a lot of Americans in particular had PS3s. I think Nintendo's going to do the same thing with NX that Sony's doing, and they're going to port all these PS3 games, they're going to port all the Wii U games to the NX because everybody wants an NX. So I genuinely believe we'll see like Super Mario Maker NX as like a launch game, and maybe even some other dark horse hits like Pikmin 3 could be re-released on NX. Even though they did say Pikmin 4 is like almost close to completion, so
I just don't know why they wouldn't open up the damn virtual.
Well, that's what I wonder. I
wonder if put the store up there and say, look, here's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of back catalog that you can play on day one. Giddy up. And by the way, if you really want it bad enough, we'll sell it to you for $10 a month.
Right. I could see them doing that with even games like Smash Bros. Like tons of people, everybody loves Smash Bros, but not everyone has a Wii U. So they sell this new $200 NX that streams all these Wii U games. Everyone's going to buy Smash Bros. Like,
and have $10,000 data overage bills with AT&T.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but I don't think it's going to stream like, cloud streaming necessarily. It's going to be something you download. That way it runs off your system. But it's probably going to pull some data from the internet, kind of like the Xbox One tries to do. I don't know.
Hey, if Nintendo can figure it out, man. Because so far, Sony's remote play, while it's cool, doesn't work.
Yeah, well, right. That's what I'm saying is Sony's remote play is like mostly garbage, if not entirely garbage. But Wii U's streaming is like perfect, like completely perfect. So I think Nintendo's actually got some solid streaming technology, whatever voodoo magic they have to pull to use it. But yeah, I don't know. That might, if I to narrow it all down, I'd say we get a Super Mario Maker NX this year.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
That game in particular, that's gotten all the buzz.
Very
All right.
interesting. All right, so back around the table to Kyle. Kyle, your next prediction. You just
This
kicked
is
off a shitstorm with that one. Good job, buddy.
It's a good one. Well, it's kind of
tried, I
an obvious
tried.
starting point, but yeah,
that's my that was my big one. The rest are just kind of speculation. I think that Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15 are going to be released on the same day.
Really?
Oh, that'd be insane.
Yeah,
Like
I think.
Happy Day.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to promote both games, especially with all the uncertainty of Final Fantasy 15 and all the hype of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like night and day with those games. Like Final Fantasy 15 is it looks cool, but we have no idea if it's gonna be good. But you mentioned Kingdom Hearts, and there's literally just there's drool in living rooms across the nation. The hype for that game is too big. It's massive.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously not to you guys who haven't played it, but to about give or take 10 million more people, we're freaking chomping at the bits for this game.
Yeah.
Now, that's also to say that I think Kingdom Hearts is going to come out this year, and I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to come out this year, and I think they're both come out at the same time. That's my random little thing I want to throw out there. RPGs, I need me a good classic JRPG in my life. I really do. And if one of those games does not come out this year, I am literally going to go dry.
Right.
It's like a desert out here, man. I've been playing great games from so many other genres, but it's just the last time I played just a damn good game like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, it's been so freaking long. It's been since Persona 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Kroger sells something called Dude Wipes. You can fix that dry spell with some Dude Wipes.
What? What? Even start follow.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I just have to remember my wife listens to this show too, so she'll appreciate that reference. She'll be like, "Oh, that's that thing from the thing." Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. But anyway, yeah, so that's just a small little something I want to throw out there. Nothing prolific like Nintendo's going to have a real press conference for once. But
Okay.
it's just I think it'd be a good move on Square Enix if they did that. That's just me.
Intriguing. Brad, your next prediction.
Oh. All right, this is a semi big one we might be able to chomp our teeth into also.
Yep.
PSVR comes out this year, and it's going to cost at least $500.
Not buying
Oh,
it.
That will be the cheapest they sell it for.
Not buying it.
That's
my God.
my bold prediction. I do not see them selling it for cheaper than that. And people that think it's going to be less than 500 they're going to be in for a shock. But
Not
I
paying for
expect at the cheapest 500.
That much for a video recorder? I'm just kidding.
1996, man.
What
It's
year
gonna
are we
see-
in?
And dark horse pick for a prediction is going to be they come out and announce it at $499, and they use that same phrasing from the PS3.
Okay.
Remember that?
If what's
Anyone
his
else?
Blake from Sony,
Taz Harai?
if he gets up on that stage and seriously drops that price point, that man will get booed off the stage.
No,
Yeah.
I know. It won't. That's my other little mini prediction. But they won't announce the price at E3. They announce the price, quietly in a press release, a week after or something.
You got this from some news sites, haven't you, Brad?
No, I'm just basing this off of the way the Oculus thing went, because that was $600.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and people were really pissed.
I
Look,
bet.
And they said they're losing a ton of money by selling it at $600.
come on,
Well, no
Facebook owns them.
Yeah, and PSVR is supposed to be about on par with Oculus, except maybe a little bit, on the lower end spec wise. So I think they at most chomp out $100 off that price.
Right.
But I don't know. That's my prediction.
Still
It's
gonna be too expensive.
$499.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Yeah,
if
as
you're
much as I want one, I
yeah.
wouldn't buy one
No.
at $500. Probably.
not only would I not buy one, but I mean, if you think about the other things that are coming or that will
Right.
be
If I
coming
had to
out.
pick between NX and PSVR, it's NX. I'd buy 3 NXs before I buy a PSVR. Like, I don't know.
I mean, that's
That'd be
bad-
stupid, but
a
I
bad choice economically. But
would not be smart. But
No, I have to tell you, I read up on the Oculus thing, and the fact that they're going out there with that price point is really ballsy. I mean, if they want to go the way of Google Glass, then
well, Google Glass was $2,000.
it was absurd. But that's what I'm saying.
oh my god,
You price yourself out of the mainstream of the market. So
Yeah.
they're only
600 isn't so bad. Though.
Well-
I mean, it's way above most people, but it's not 2,000.
what
It's
it
not
proves. So that the pricing model, right? Let's do businessy 101 for just a second. Is they're pricing most gamers out of the market, which does two things. It puts them in a really sweet position to not have to manufacture a lot of handsets, even though there will be an initial burst. There'll be the hardcore dads with money
Sure.
who have nothing better to do, don't care about their kids, and just live on their video game systems all day. And the guys who are really, really young entrepreneurs that have the cash to spend. But the vast majority of gamers will not buy it, and they won't have to produce it. So you'll have a really small group. It'll have a 6 to 9 month, life cycle in terms of, ramping up. And then after that, they'll have no choice but to start dropping the price. And I think until it gets closer to the $300 range, it's going to be out of reach for most people because it's going to come mid-cycle for PS4, Xbox One generation. But like you just said, NX is going to come out probably around that time, if not in its entirety. By the time that price gets to a place, I think, where people will start to consider it, and that puts Nintendo in a really good situation. From a demand perspective, they just won't have enough units manufactured because
and then that's all that good press that it's going to be the Wii all over again, where it's hard to find, blah, blah, blah.
That's exactly right. So it does
Yeah.
put them in a good position, I think, ultimately, not to bring Nintendo back into it. But I'm kind of not feeling the VR thing. I mean, you go and you read the pages, and everybody's like, ooh, there's this one game that's going to be like the killer app. And I'm like,
Well, here's the
one
thing about
game?
VR, and I haven't tried it myself, but literally everybody that tries VR says you have to try it, and then it makes sense. So of us that haven't tried it yet, it's never going to quite make sense. It's like I don't know. They describe it as like going on vacation or something. It's like you could see pictures of the Grand Canyon, but when you're actually at the Grand Canyon, it's a little different. Like that's the level of difference there. So until they start having Best Buy demo units, I don't think a lot of people are going to be that hyped for it. But I genuinely think that by making it $600, they're giving you a better experience. If they gave you a $300 version of the headset, it would look like a crappy little screen a couple inches from your face. But by making it so much better, so much higher quality, they're making it this million time better experience.
Yeah,
so
but
I think
I
the
agree with that.
compromise is
I agree
worth
with that.
it. I think. Like I'd rather them alienate more people just to deliver a better experience, because the whole point is, and Paul Merlucky, the CEO of Oculus, he says this too. Like the whole point isn't to just make money and sell hardware. It's like the only reason we started the company is that we love VR as an idea, and if you cheapen it, then it's never going to work. So even if we lose sales by being too expensive, it's worth it in the end because a better quality VR experience will be out there, and there will be eventually a higher demand, and eventually the cost of making them will go down, and there will be that sweet spot where it just
Of course,
explodes.
but that's a year plus out. I mean,
For sure, probably multiple years. But like, if you think about the iPhone, the first iPhone, original, just regular iPhone, that was not a hit at all. It was way too expensive. It was more than an Oculus.
Yeah,
and
but
that
it's
was in
Apple, so you
2007.
expect that.
Yeah, but it
This
ended
is a
up
video
taking over the
game.
world. But think about the change in like 3 years from the iPhone, like OG iPhone, to the iPhone 4. That was 3 years apart, and the entire world was like set on fire by the iPhone 4.
Well, yeah.
That was the one that like blew open
But
the
you
whole
also
thing.
have somebody subsidizing the cost for you, which these
Right.
guys don't have. So the
Maybe they
accessibility.
introduce some PlayStation Plus style monthly thing. I'm like, maybe you sign a contract. Who knows?
I'm very skeptical. I mean, I get it.
Oh, I am.
I agree that a premium price does command a better product, and I don't give them flack for that as a principle. But if you're in the business to sell something, there's a big difference between a cell phone that you're carrying with you and using at every second of every day and a headpiece that's big and giant and bulky that you're going to put on for maybe an hour every once in a while because it's going to have to fit into your time when you're at home. So if you're...
Well, the way they see it is it's as important as like a television set was in like the 50s or something.
Okay, well,
like,
maybe in
this is the thing that's going
2030...
to change everybody for like literally the rest of time. Like the rest of entertainment will be changed because of VR.
Well, in
Like it's that
2030,
level
we'll
of
talk
crazy.
about it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like the first people that owned TV sets, I'm sure it was a very niche product. I'm sure it was too expensive. But then eventually everybody had TVs. Like it's that same thing, in my opinion.
Very interesting. It's a good prediction. I mean, we will, of course, see what happens.
Word.
I don't like the idea of it.
I mean, it's like, I remember all the craze in the early 90s, and I remember, of course, I remember Virtual Boy and its abysmalness and all that. It's always been around. And I think the technology does really, truly exist to give a premium, very good feeling product, but I just think it's like HD TVs were 10 years ago. And it's going to take a long time for that price to come down.
But if you think about it, it's really not even that expensive. It's like
shut up, Brad.
$600
though. For like people buy iPads for $500 all the time. People buy cell phones for $600.
Right, but it's an iPad. It's Apple.
but-
I know I'm getting a good product. This is an unproven, untested thing, so it's going to take a little bit longer in the life cycle for people to even consider paying that kind of a premium price for it, and it doesn't have a utility like an iPad does.
I don't know. Trust me, I'm not all on board. I'm not going to be day one spending $5,000 on that kind of thing. But
I want you to, so that you can prove us all right. We'll come over to your house.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be very awkward.
I'm just saying
Brad,
that
be the guinea pig.
I might be actually. We'll see.
Oh my
But
God.
no. But I will say that because none of us have tried it, that's the reason it's kind of iffy. That literally everybody that tries it says this is the next big thing. This is like bigger than the internet. This is going to change everybody's life. Like it's the people's language when they talk about VR is like religious. It's like I saw the face of God and I saw Jesus and he was at the right hand of God. It's like that same level of like intense, I don't know. It's weird. Like it's cool. It's exciting that people are that excited about it, but I don't know. It's just weird.
I mean, look,
VR in general is very weird.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm down on it because I'm not. I don't hate the idea. I think anything cool that advances video gaming as a legitimate medium into something new and different that can be that next level of entertainment, I think that's great. I just think it's so early that right now I know for sure myself, especially with the prices that are being dropped, not just on Oculus and PlayStation VR, but the rumor mill and everything else. HTC's got one out there, and they're saying it's going to be $1 zillion.
That one's going to be way more expensive than the Oculus. No doubt.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, Google's kind of playing in that sandbox too with its little cardboard thing, and you put your cell phone in. Listen, I know it's stupid, but if you think about it, it's the same concept. It's just tackling it in a slightly different way. And it's doing so in a way that makes it more accessible to people because it uses something you already have.
But you're getting an inferior experience. It's like,
well, I mean, I guess that depends on who you ask and what it is you expect to get out of it. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to be a dead horse or anything, but I love the prediction. We'll see what happens. I hope it's good. I really do.
Word.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Okay. So my next big one, and I'm going to keep this short because I'm sure it will draw the feedbacks from the two of you.
Uh-oh.
My prediction is that 2016 will, in fact, be the year of microtransactions. We're going to see more games with more microtransactions at ridiculous prices than ever before. And there will be no stopping the bleeding at this point. I think.
Well, I feel like it's been the year of the microtransaction for like 4 years in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's going to be the year. Like every game that's coming out now has season pass, DLC, microtransaction. That all have it now. I mean, look at all the 10 big shooters across all platforms. All have a beta and a season pass, and it's just going to be microtransaction crazy. So by the time PlayStation VR comes out, everybody will be broke because they spent their $600 on Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Uh,
I mean,
I
it
mean-
makes me sick because it's obviously true. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with Brad. Like, I feel like that's just kind of been the thing for the last at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And just like the worst are the cell phone games, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that personally, but I know people who shell out money for cell phone games. I'm like, why? Why? You can't wait the day. You can't wait. You can't wait for your town to build itself for a day. Like, you need to spend $5 to speed the process for you to build a Cabbage Patch. Like,
yeah.
for Christ's sake, people! Like, and I play the mobile game I play is, go figure, it's a Dragon Ball Z one. And it's Dokkan Battle. It's cool. It's a cool game. It's fun. You can play it however much you want, and it's very fun. And you don't have to buy into the transaction bullshit. What I love about some of these games is they're fun to play regardless. Like, you don't need to do it. But the first ones are the town builders. You know, the Simpsons game, the Family Guy game. I guess Farmville still a thing? I don't even know.
I don't know.
know.
But
that was like the original. That was like
right.
the trendsetter.
The Simpsons and the Family Guy one are the worst because you build your own, Springfield or Quahog, and everything takes a certain amount of time to do. So it take hours, sometimes even days for them to use. And so you can wait the days, or you can spend X amount of money, usually like $10 to $15 to speed up the process of you building your thing. And I'm just like, and people buy into this. I'm like, this is insane. Like, do you have some kind of psychological hate for your own money?
Well, but I think it's going to jump. I think there's going to be a leap here, and I want to be clear because I think what you're touching on
is a little different. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
in the mobile space, when you look at a Destiny or Call of Duty or whatever, so far most publishers have kept to you can get new skin for your character and you can get this cool little backpack and a hat and don't you know it'll be cute and you can do customization, but it doesn't right, but it doesn't do anything to
Fargo
the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that start to shift this year, and publishers are already going that route with the season pass and breaking their games up. You pay $60, you never get a full game anymore. So, people are lying to themselves and they think they're getting it because they're not. It's like Black Ops 3. I have to tell you that since I've been sick, my brothers over the holiday both got PlayStation 4s, and so I was like, well, I'm playing Destiny. You can come play with me. And they're like, this is fun. You should try Black Ops 3. It's not that different. And I was like, okay, I will try it. Well, of course, I enjoy the game very much. There are parts of it that I hate, but, it's the same thing. It's like, well, here's these 10 missions or whatever, and when they're over, and they're good, and then when they're over, you have to wait till DLC comes out, or you have to spend all your time in multiplayer online, PvP, and that's a joke. But, it's just, it's a lot. And so their microtransaction stuff there is eerily similar. Of course, it's Activision, which also, does Destiny, but it's eerily similar in the way they handle it. So I think it's really only a matter of time before publishers start to bleed into content affecting gameplay because there is more money to be had and they want it.
Word.
I'm just saying.
No, I got you. I don't know. I think it's all stupid.
I think it's all completely stupid, and even thinking about it just kind of hurts my belly.
Right.
I played Destiny for like the first. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But you're right, though. Like, you're absolutely right, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be terrible, and I'm going to hate video games.
Right? That's how I feel. Like, it literally turns me off of the entire idea of video games. Like, I'm not even just saying that. Like, I don't want to be sold stuff or be pushed to buy stuff when I've already bought the game. Like, that should be it. Like, you should be done with it. I'm okay with an expansion pack, even though I don't buy them. Like, if 4 months later they sell you a $20 thing, that's no big deal. But you put in Destiny, and like everything's, here's your silver amount, and this costs this much real money, and blah blah blah. Like on Battlefront, even like on the main menu, there's like 5 tabs, and one of the 5 tabs is season pass.
Yep.
So literally 20% of the main menu is dedicated to selling you more stuff, even though you bought the game.
Yep.
Like it's so stupid.
Yep.
Whatever.
It's like, and the funny thing is, it took consoles so long to figure this out. Warcraft has been doing it for years.
Yep.
Oh, really? The PC games have been, especially Sims. Like, good God, Sims 3 had like $700 worth of things you could buy for it or something. Like, they've been.
And people are buying it.
Some crazy. For sure. That's the saddest part. But yeah.
So, Brad, you said you played Destiny.
Yeah, that was a random. It was just like so different. Like nothing made sense anymore. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Destiny hipster, but like everything. Like there was like quest screens and like it was so confusing. I was like, what the heck just happened to like normal old Strike playlist?
Complete different. Yep, it's completely different.
It's completely different. Like nothing. There's like in the very bottom corner of all these things. It's like, oh, here's the classic levels. In case you didn't want to shell out $100, here's the original game you bought. And like there's 9 things to click on, but unless you buy the DLC, you can click on one of them.
Yep.
Like it's so silly. Well, whatever.
Yep.
So,
they have you locked in, son.
yeah, they totally do. But that's why I kind of gave up on that game anyway. So
We'll see what happens in the future.
Glad I spent time with it, but actually, it was one of my buddies. It was Randy. You know Randy, Kyle.
Yes, I do.
He just got a PS4, so he got the Taken King version where it came with the original game and all the expansions and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he did his level 25 boost up, and then we're going to try and do the old Vault of Glass at some point. So,
let me know when you do that. I would totally be
this
down
is-
for jamming with you.
Word. Yeah, I haven't done Vault of Glass since December 2013. That was like the last time I played Destiny before this week almost.
Wait,
Like, I think it turned it-
2013?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game's
Or
been out this long?
Yeah.
2014, I meant. Sorry.
Okay, thank God. I was like, what?
Yeah, sorry.
There's no way that game's been out this long.
But still, it's like a year and a half, I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
That's so ridiculous.
Excellent.
it feels like a new thing still.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have time, I think, for one more round around the table.
I've got a funny little one if I just want to get it out of the way because it's
Sure.
timely based on today. Did you guys see Oh, no, sorry. I got a mini one and then I got a real one. So this is my mini one.
Okay.
But did you see Detective Pikachu?
Stupid.
Yes, I did.
I posted it on our
like-
Facebook page and said, "Why, God, why?
It looks like the worst game ever, and my
Ever.
prediction is that it's going to be a disaster and it's going to be awful.
Why?" I mean, he talks.
And yeah, there's a human voice, like obviously human voice, but like it's English or Japanese in the trailer case. Like it's like a Pikachu that talks like Meowth does in the anime.
Very
Oh,
strange.
God.
Oh God, it's so stupid. Oh, I want to cry.
Stupid.
Oh, it looks so bad.
I'm gonna play
let's
it.
just-
Watch it being awesome.
if it ends up being awesome, I'd be, obviously I want every game to be good, but it reminds me of Metroid Federation Force.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. Right.
Like, what
Well,
do
yeah,
we do?
because there's a big hype thing around the Super Bowl with Pokemon right now.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got like
I
a
saw that
60-second
trailer.
ad.
So cool.
It's great.
Well, I think there's gonna be more to it though.
I think this is another little mini prediction. I bet they release the portable NX this year with some type of Pokemon game, whether it's a remake, whether it's a new thing.
Pokemon
like
Go.
Pokemon Go could be on the NX. Yeah, I could see.
Cannot wait for Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I-
it's gonna be so awesome.
I definitely think this year is going to be bigger than they're letting on for Pokemon. Like, there's Pokken Tournament. There's
Nintendo.
for sure. Nintendo's got this year in the bag, I think. But they got Pokken Tournament. They got the Virtual Console 3DS games, the original trilogy. They got now Detective Pikachu. They already just did Pokemon Picross. Like, I think Pokemon and Nintendo is going to be
I
crazy.
mean,
big.
look, Nintendo has been in this position before. It's theirs to lose, and they always find a way to lose it. So let's just all hold our breath and wait and see
Yeah.
before we start telling them, "Oh my God, it's Nintendo's year," and then they come out and
I
say
mean,
the NX is $10,000.
No, but the other thing is Kimishima, their new president. He was the president of the Pokemon Company. Like that was
Oh.
before he became president of Nintendo. So I
Sweet.
wonder if there's some tie with he gets to talk about his time at Pokemon, and how it affects his role at Nintendo. Like, I think that could be a cool tie-in to
Well, I think
introducing.
Pokemon's the only thing that's keeping Nintendo afloat right now.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
uh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
for good reason.
Yeah.
God bless Pokemon. I would not be the person I am today without it. So-
Totally. Same here. 100%.
All right,
100.
that really makes me question a lot about you guys.
My other
Pokemon's
final. Oh, sorry.
Go. No, I was just saying Pokemon's amazing. That's all I'm
Oh.
saying.
I can't wait to get the virtual console game. But anyway, my final. This is a little mini one too. Res Infinite for the PS4 is going to be Brad's Game of the Year 2016.
Oh my
Damn.
God! Shut your face.
I'm calling it now. We'll see in December. But I'm calling it now.
All right, whatever.
All right, Kyle.
I think this is going to be the year that Sonic the Hedgehog finally dies.
Go on.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I mean to laugh at I don't know.
this is 25th anniversary, so they're going to try to do something big. And the rumor is they're going to do Sonic Generations 2 with Sonic Classic, Sonic Modern, and Sonic Boom. And I can see it being an absolute shit show.
Yeah, everything they tried to do with that poor character, except for the original Generations, which was.
I mean, you know how big of a Sonic fan I am, and even I am not blind enough to know that literally there's nothing keeping Sonic the Hedgehog alive other than the nostalgia of the first three games. That's literally the only thing keeping it alive. That's why Sonic Generations was so popular. It was actually good. And by good, I mean just the 2D levels. The 3D levels were still kind of glitchy and sometimes garbage. But Sonic's been going down this road for a long time, and I think Sega needs to pull the plug and focus on other things. Because Sega's got some cool things in the works that I think just keeping Sonic on life support would just keep on damaging their reputation. You know, they got a few big projects coming out, hopefully this year. I mean, the big one being Persona 5 and another one, I forget the other one that looks really cool that Sega's doing. Sega Games 2016. Hold on. There we go. Oh, God, what is it? Warhammer. No, that's not right. No, screw that. Sega, you're useless. Never mind. Screw Sega. But that's the thing. Like, Sega, there are good Sega games out there that don't involve Sonic the Hedgehog. And some of them are coming out this year, and I think they should turn their focus to keeping them alive instead of just keeping one thing alive. So, I don't know. I hate Sega.
yeah.
I love Sega, but I hate Sega. And I'm really, really, I know I keep talking about the RPGs, but I'm really scared about Persona 5 being in their hands. But that's just one prediction that I had, that Sonic the Hedgehog will finally die. And I hope he does. He deserves to die, at least a somewhat dignified death. And then, honestly, I said this last year. I'm going to say it again. Advance Wars. Advance Wars
please God.
There needs to be another Advance Wars game.
What if they launched it with the NX like they did with Game Boy Advance? Oh shoot, it's over.
No.
I think the 3DS would be just fine for it.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool too. I mean, as long as it wasn't like Battalion Wars, because Battalion Wars was garbage. Did you play that game?
Less said about it. No, but I knew about it, and I was on the fence about getting it.
It is worthless. It is.
It just looked really weak.
It's terrible. It's just like, oh no, don't ruin. Stop ruining my favorite things, Nintendo. Stop ruining my favorite things.
Just give us a Dual Strike 2.
Exactly.
Andy, Max, like everybody.
Stick with the formula. Keep it going. I wouldn't mind if it was a bit more serious, like the Days of Ruin, but not nearly as serious.
Yeah. Like
it's
they're
just
all older now. Make them all like aged character wise.
right, exactly.
Andy's like a kid. It's like
been-
it's kind of weird.
It's been long enough. It's been
Yeah, right.
I think it's been like 10 years since the last since Dual Strike.
Yeah.
So I think advanced. I mean, their intelligence systems is doing great with Fire Emblem.
Right, they're killing it with those games.
So I think it's time for their other flagship franchise to make an appearance.
Yeah, I think this new one, now that they're doing Pokemon style, where there's all these different versions of Fire Emblem coming out,
Yeah,
I think this will hopefully be their last Fire Emblem for like a good little bit. Like they've really run that into the ground, especially with this big finale, like 3-game epic saga thing.
yeah,
Like that, let that be it. Like take a break and then come back with a very straightforward Advance Wars, NX, 3DS, whatever.
yeah.
And that'd be
Exactly.
Like they did just release those games on Wii U Virtual Console, which keeps
Yes.
it, fresh in people's minds. So
Sure.
that definitely means Nintendo hasn't forgotten about Advance Wars, which gives me hope.
I have one more.
Go for it.
This is
I also have a tiny baby one, but go ahead.
Final Fantasy VII will be on Virtual Console for the Wii U.
Nice, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a
I
very.
like that. I like that. That's a good one.
I would love to see that. That would
Yep.
be like the ultimate bridging the gap. For healing wounds, holding hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cloud's in Smash Bros. There's no
Yep.
reason why you
Square and Nintendo are friendlier than they've ever been. Like literally.
can't. Super Mario RPG 2. No, just kidding.
Woo. No.
Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was going to say, Brad, you had a baby one. Go first.
Real quick baby one. It reminded me as I was talking about this game for a second. But I think Metroid Federation Force is canceled. I don't think that game exists. They haven't said anything about it since E3. They've
This is
literally
true.
not mentioned it. I think that game's dead, and praise Jesus that it is, because that thing needed to die quick and
Ooh, what if we get
painfully.
a Metroid launch title?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh my
But
god, that would be my shit.
I'd rather have no Metroid than Metroid Federation Force.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'd just rather that game not even exist, on Wikipedia when I'm looking up Metroid. I don't want it to be near my eyeballs. Like, just keep it away from me, and I'm good.
It was almost like the nuts and bolts.
You're right. Except Nuts and Bolts it's decent, but
Actually,
it was-
it got really good reviews.
yeah,
It was
It's just-
it was
it was
critically
just
acclaimed.
so weird. It was such a weird game that
Oh, you take a formula like that and just completely mind.
it has
it's-
nothing to do with the other games. Not
Yeah.
even slightly similar to the other games. But,
No, not at all.
fair.
Very
All
good.
right, Nick.
So my last one is, I think that this year we will see an explosion. Explosion.
Kind of
in-
explosion, Nick.
in esports.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
sweet.
I
Yeah,
think-
absolutely.
Big time. Like, think of like the Super Bowl big. Because, and I'll
I
justify this with just a
I
few.
wouldn't go that far.
Oh, I think it's going to be huge. And here's why I say that. Because, you've got the ESL, and they do fine. MLG, Brad and I talked about this on the last one just briefly, was purchased by Activision. They're still doing their thing, but now they're owned by a publisher, and Activision is huge. Obviously, you've got Call of Duty, you've got Bungie and Destiny, which is, rumors are all floating around Destiny 2, and all the other properties therein. I think it's really interesting to see that. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I neglected to mention that ESPN itself has said we are all about getting our feet in that water. So I think if that actually happens, if you're a Time Warner or a Comcast or one of these other big, more traditional media type companies, you're going to look at that and say, this could really be the future. And I think people will kind of divest a little bit, or invest a little bit in it, and try to come up with, how can I partner this? How can I stream it? How can I, like Sling TV esports, for example, jumps to mind. If Dish put some money on the table, and people like Activision and ESL will be more than happy to claim significant millions of royalties on top of that to offer them the streams to their events. And I think you'll see more games with more competitive multiplayer. I mean, it's already happening as we go. More and more games feel compelled to offer some kind of online multiplayer. And I think ultimately, that's going to come to some big thing with esports. I personally have never really been into it. I mean, it's like League of Legends and Dota and all this. Whatever. That stuff doesn't necessarily interest me. I've watched it, and it's kind of boring watching people in their cute little 3D sprites running around going, "Ooh, pew pew with my laser beams." I'm talking.
Think about what?
Oh.
What?
You know what's not boring though?
What?
Watching the Pokemon World Championship.
Hey, or a Smash Brothers tournament, frankly.
Right. I watched the Pokemon World Championship, and it was exciting as hell. It was awesome. I was like, damn, these kids are crazy.
But I mean, just imagine the possibilities with that. I think this year's the year. I really do.
Yeah, this will be the breakthrough. That'll probably be the biggest takeaway from this year. If it's not VR and it's not the NX, it'll probably be esports becoming like mainstream, quote unquote. And I think what you were saying about Smash Bros. In particular is like so important because that's the type of game that like literally anybody can watch, or any fighting game for that matter. Is like anybody can watch it and appreciate the insane level of skill in a fighting game. Like if you're watching professional Dota, unless you play Dota, like you don't quite get it. You're like, oh, that looks cool. I see they're coordinating and they're going this way and the other team's going that way. But like, yeah, it's a game that you have to play to, appreciate. But like you watch football, you don't have to be a football player to like watching football. Like that's the thing that esports needs to get right, is this whole, you don't have to play the game to like watching it. In fighting games, I think you show any casual whatever a cool Smash Bros tournament move, and like where everybody loses their mind and everybody's screaming and there's a huge upset. Like that's the most hilarious, insane stuff out there in esports, in my opinion. So I don't know.
I think you're pretty close to it. I mean, it's kind of like, what you were saying about, figuring out a way to get people hooked without having to play it. I mean, you look at the big streamers on YouTube or Twitch or, and a lot of times people aren't playing those games, but they like the personality. They like, the community that these people create. And I think esports has largely pigeonholed itself away from that sense of community. And I think it's just the way it's run.
The fighting game community in particular, they're like notoriously douchey and like, just like jerk people. Literally, they're like all these like you go to like a club and you see like these dudes with Affliction t-shirts and ripped jeans. Like that's like the fighting game community. Like I don't know, it's just like these kind of unlikable dudes. Like,
and I think that's part
Smash
of
is different. Smash is friendlier.
Yeah, well, you can see that. I mean, when they did the traveling tournament, and then when they did the big one at E3,
yeah,
those are the kinds of activities that really get people involved because even if you're not a particularly good Smash Brothers player, it's a fighting game. You kind of get the mechanics, and you have a favorite character, and you can pick it up or try. But I don't know. I've been seeing a lot about it lately. And it was never really on my radar at all until like this year. I was like, wait, people actually do that, and I'm a Twitch addict, by the way. And so I'm always checking out what people are doing, and I have my favorites, and really enjoy. I would never give them money necessarily, but I mean, I enjoy, following people and listening and keeping up and all that. But, we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see more personalities. I think I think it's only a matter of time. And if Activision plays its card right and ESPN steps in the ring, I think we're going to see some seismic shifts in the way that content is delivered and how it's delivered. And I think it's going to be big. And you know what? If that's the new version of video gaming TV, like we all lamented the death of G4 and X-Play and all that stuff from way back in the day.
Which was awesome.
I know. I mean, if that's the new iteration of it in a highly competitive way with some cool shows and kind of like in an ESPN-ish format where you can, have the live stuff and the commentary and then you can have news and updates, I think it could be really, really big, and it's about time. I mean, the medium is big enough. It can support it just needs a little bit of the monetary love from somebody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, was that someone that oh, sorry. What?
And speaking of competitive Smash Brothers, we gotta get Smash.
Oh, we definitely do.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Sooner. It's a fail on my part because I think we said we were going to try and do it in like November. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And you've got all this stuff on your system, so we've got to somehow get your console to wherever it will be held.
No, I mean, bringing my stuff's not a big deal. I just don't know that I have all the controllers or anything that everybody would need. But
Oh, I've got tons. I've
yeah,
got
we got
like
colors. That's not
Yeah.
a problem.
okay, we could talk about that offline.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
But Brad, you were going to say,
No, I was gonna say, as someone that in school had to study the like history of broadcasting, like ESPN, like literally built cable TV. Like, I'm not that I have to tell you guys, but
Right.
I'm sure you guys know. But like ESPN is like the reason cable, like maybe HBO and some other stuff too, but like ESPN in particular, like and even today is like the only thing keeping cable alive, like really. But the biggest thing with ESPN was they had that flagship. They have Sports Center, and it's like this humorous kind of thing. It's these personalities you really like, and it's really flashy graphics. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like, if you watch a news program today, whether it's local news or whether it's Fox News or CNN or something, and there's all these graphics and things flashing and swooping in, shoo, 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 like all of that came from ESPN. Like before ESPN, news was very static and very like you just sit there and read the news. And then ESPN happened and Sports Center, there's stuff flying by and there's like stupid robot sounds and whatever. Like that, they like invented that whole insanely flashy style of like a like news kind of program. And if esports gets that kind of thing where it can draw in casual people with funny, flashy graphics and entertaining personalities, like I think it could definitely be, as big as an ESPN moment if they take it seriously.
I love it.
Sure.
I really
It'd be
hope
so cool. I'm rooting for it. However it happens, wherever it happens.
Agreed. Anybody have anything else before we jump?
I'm pretty good. I think we pretty much
pretty
covered a good little bit here. We're just about at an hour, I think.
Oh
right?
yeah, we're definitely over the hour. And that having been said, if you have any thoughts about predictions for 2016, definitely put them in the comments on Facebook and let us know what you think. Or for those of you, all the new followers that we've gotten recently, you can hit us up on Twitter at GamerFeed Radio. As I mentioned before at the top of the show, iTunes and iHeartRadio, mostly iHeartRadio where everybody's at. You can check us out at GamerFeedRadio.com or whatever. Appreciate the time with everybody this evening and all the thoughts. And if you have anything else, like I said, hit us up. Until next time, gamers. Peace.
Peace.